Good evening and a very warm welcome from BlockchainLab Drenthe. Welcome at our monthly meetup. This time a little bit earlier than other months, but we're getting in the spirit of the seasons and it's very early dark outside, so we thought we'd do it 1 week earlier. Let me show you our lab and tell you a little bit about BlockchainLab Drenthe for the ones who are here for the first time. And I'll get my presentation. BlockchainLab Drenthe is a non-profit foundation with the goal to spread knowledge, experience and insights about distributed ledger technology and blockchain in general to entrepreneurs, students, schools, governmental bodies and private persons. And we develop blockchain applications ourselves. We do research, we do feasibility studies, all to gather information. The blockchain space is changing very fast, very rapidly, and there's a lot of knowledge to study, so we do that with our own project. We are heavily invested in Interreg Project Bling. You see some references to Interreg and Bling here also. And Bling stands for Blockchain in Government. Blockchain in Government, which means there are 6 North Sea regions and 14 partners, which are universities of Gothenburg, Oldenburg, Edinburgh, Ho West, and a number of others, but also municipalities like Emmen or the city of Groningen or the city of Antwerp, involved in doing research and doing pilots for blockchain applications in general, and in this case, mostly public services. Okay, let me go to the next slide and start with a service announcement. This is YouTube and a live stream, so it is of course a one-way video, but we like interaction, and we can have interaction by using the YouTube chat. So here you can see on the screen where that is located. If you have your YouTube full screen, just make it a little bit smaller so you can see the chat. Please use the chat and introduce yourself. We love to hear from you, where you're from, what you're doing, and meet new people in the blockchain space. You can also use that to ask questions to the speakers, and we will try to answer them as soon as possible, probably after the presentations. We'll do that in different parts. After our meetup, we have the chance to do some informal talking and questioning, etc. For that we use Kumo Space. I will post the link after we're ready also. Kumo Space is a little bit different than most software you use. When you use Teams or Jitsi or Zoom or whichever other software for sharing and meeting. This Kumo Space, you can be in one room, but everybody could be talking to someone else. So when you use Teams, for instance, one person is sending and the other ones are listening, a little bit like you now. But in Kumo Space, you can walk around in the room. This is our BlockchainLab studio or lounge area, I would say. You can walk around there, and if you meet somebody and you get within a certain circle, a certain radius of that person, they can hear you and you can talk to them. But you can walk around and talk with different people instead of just with one. So I'll share that link later on, and we'll have an informal gathering later. Our meetups have a certain format. I most of the time do a general part, and then we have 2 extra topics. Most of the times we have a guest speaker and a speaker of our own. This evening we have 2 of our own. My co-founders, Danny Dreves and Jeroen Wester, are present also to give a presentation about one big topic, NFTs. If you have not heard about NFTs, you'll be probably living on a different planet than we, because it's a very hot topic, and we thought we demystified that a little bit. And there's a lot to talk about. So Jeroen will address theory, what is an NFT, how does it work, and Danny will give a demonstration about how you buy an NFT or how you make an NFT. So lots of things to do. You see also the date for our next meetup, which will be on December 9th. I don't know the topics yet, but we will publish them on social media and in meetup.com. Let me start with the presentation and the next segment. And of course, in that general segment, we always start with looking at the markets. At BlockchainLab Drenthe, we think that coins are, how shall I put this politely, a necessary evil when you talk about a blockchain. But of course, coins are the oldest and most robust application of blockchain to date. Right? A blockchain was introduced by Bitcoin, but we at BlockchainLab Drenthe think that coins are just a small part of the big spectrum of things you can do with blockchain. And NFTs, for instance, are also a part. Maybe, I know people who say that NFTs are even going to be more important than coins. Well, maybe later on we'll hear about that by Jeroen or Danny. What you see here are the market prices of this morning. And we can see very clearly that Bitcoin is at around 65,000, nearly the same price as last month, our last meetup 3 weeks ago. Yeah, this is the page most people look at, right? All these green and red squiggly lines, and hopefully the coin they have in their wallet will have gone up a lot. And well, quite frankly, most of the time this year they went up, but last month not so much. At least Bitcoin didn't. As you can see, it's in the vicinity of 65,000 as it was last month. So the big gains and big losses we saw in Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, plus 57%, minus 40%, plus 40%. That is stuff that gets your heart racing, I think. At this month, it was nearly zero. The markets went up. If we look at the total market cap, it's at 2.8 billion, or no, sorry, 2.8 trillion. And that total market cap went up 6.8% in the last 3 weeks, while Bitcoin was at zero. So other coins went up while Bitcoin stayed the same. You can also see that at the daily volume went up. Oh, my finger gets lost. So we're trading 177 billion a day versus at the start of the year it was 153 billion, or in September it was 106 billion. So trading volume is up. Only the price of Bitcoin was the last 3 weeks very stable. That also resulted in that Bitcoin dominance, as you can read there, went down from 46% to 43%. Bitcoin dominance means that of all the coins, of all the money in coins in the world, 43% is invested in Bitcoin. Still the largest coin on the planet, of course, but its importance is a little bit behind. When you look at, for instance, January, the Bitcoin dominance was at 64%. Here you can see what happened in the last 3 weeks in Bitcoin price. Yeah, a bit disappointing for most people, I think. While this was the picture last month, that Bitcoin was up in comparison to Ethereum. This month, you see that Ethereum caught up and even outperformed the Bitcoin price. Ethereum is doing a bit better last month than Bitcoin was, outperforming by I believe 12 or 13%. Which 12 or 13%? I mean, if you look at investors or people who put their money on a bank account that have to pay money, 12% is a lot in 1 month. Let alone when you look at performances of 40, 50%. One of the things that is pushing along is payment adoption of crypto coins. So here you see some news from MasterCard that is launching a crypto card, so you can pay with crypto money to any retailer. What they will do is they will change the money from crypto into fiat money at the moment of transaction, right? So you're not really paying the retailer cryptos. He's earning dollars or he's earning euros or whatever. This first test of MasterCard is in Asia, but they will probably roll that out over other continents also. Of course, there were already credit cards, or this is a debit card by Visa, where you could pay with your crypto money, but MasterCard is venturing now in that new realm, and this is not a debit card, it's a credit card. Now, we're always talking about coins, and that in Bitcoin there are just 7 transactions per second of the whole world capacity, which is of course not much in comparison to what credit card companies do, transactions per second. But if you look at it from the volume size, from the money that is exchanged, that can be a large sum. I mean, for instance, MasterCard is doing 55,000 US dollars per second. Visa is doing $130,000 per second, so twice as much as MasterCard. But in the Bitcoin network, those 7 transactions per second are on average good for $190,000 per second. So although the transactions are lower, the size in dollars is a lot bigger, let alone when they find the trick, lightning or whatever, to increase the speed. We talked about Visa. Visa is also venturing in the NFT realm. NFT is the big topic of this evening, and a few months ago, Visa invested in an NFT, a CryptoPunk asset. You see the asset there, the punker with the green eyes. That's what they bought for $150,000. And of course, Jeroen will explain what they really bought, which rights they bought. But here on the exchange where they bought the NFTs, you can see that they bought it for $150,000. But a few days later, there are already people bidding up to $500,000 for it. So they just wanted to test how it works, but they already are in for a very, very nice profit, I think. Even so much that Visa thinks that crypto money is getting a boost out of NFTs, right? They say you used to be a nerd when you invested in crypto monies, right? A computer nerd, and now NFTs are coming up, and everybody wants the piece of the action. Now it's kind of cool to have crypto money and invest in NFTs. So Visa says this will be a positive influence on the adoption of crypto money. We've been talking about education. You might know that BlockchainLab Drenthe is teaching a minor blockchain at the University of Applied Sciences in Emmen and Leeuwarden, NHL Stenden. And we are all for sharing knowledge. Now, the new to-be mayor of New York says, I want schools to teach about crypto and blockchain, so every child knows what's going on, and make it less susceptible to scams, for instance. You have to know about electronic money and how it works. He's not the first. The state of Georgia earlier this year adopted a bill where they said that in high schools the students should be educated about crypto money and NFTs and blockchain in general. So I think that's good news. This mayor of New York is also doing a little bit of rumbling himself. It all started a while ago when somebody tweeted, how long would it be before the first politician will take his payment, his monthly payment in Bitcoin. That would be the first sign of real adoption. So the mayor of Miami responded to that and said, well, here in Florida, and especially in Miami, who is very positively minded towards crypto money and blockchain in general. So the mayor of Miami said, I'll take my next monthly wage in Bitcoins. And then the mayor of Tampa, Miss Jane Castor, said on a blockchain convention also in Florida, I'll do the same. I'll follow that. I'll be the second mayor. And of course, this mayor of New York, which we talked about on the last slide, said, hey, we're New York. Go big or go home. I'll take my next 3 monthly wages in Bitcoin because I think that the Big Apple will become the blockchain center of the world, and we're doing anything to help the crypto industry. So the mayors are bidding up to each other who will be the most crypto-friendly city in America. Miami was on the forefront, and Miami has its own coin, and the Miami coin is mineable and it's open. Its mnemonic is MIA, and the city of Miami is mining it, and they're already receiving $2,000 every 10 minutes from that mining. But the mayor is very, very positive about it, and he says, well, I think that in the long run, people living in Miami do not have to pay taxes. The income of the city will come from mining. I have to see that first, but of course it's nice to hear that people have a friendly opinion about blockchain and distributed ledgers. The topic of this evening is NFTs. And in the first part, talking about what's going on in the blockchain space, we always have a segment about scams. So I put those two together, and we're talking about NFT scams. We've all seen the transaction from Beeple, where he received, I believe it was 70 million US dollars for his digital artwork, or the NFT of the digital artwork. For not so much insiders, Beeple is a digital artist who generated a digital piece of art every day, and he took the first 5,000 days and made them into a large piece of art, made an NFT of it, and took it to auction. I believe it was at Sotheby's, and that's where he received 70 million US dollars. That made headlines all over the world, and everybody wants to be the next Beeple. Now, Beeple, he doesn't have to work anymore, right? He has its own Discord, and sometimes he gives away NFTs for free or nearly free on his Discord. And not for 70 million, then you don't have to work anymore. So there are people staying logged in on his Discord for 24 hours a day and having their crypto wallets open, that when he drops a few NFTs for nearly nothing, that they can buy them, right? So scammers saw that, and they hacked the Discord, and they impersonated the administrator, and they faked an NFT drop. So they faked the way that an NFT from Beeple came on the market. They put it on a different auction, a different exchange, and I believe they gained 90,000 US dollars from that. By the time that people realized that it was not a real Beeple NFT, he was already gone with the money. Some of these people that are very eager to buy these NFTs were scammed, and now they are hoping and more or less counting on it that Beeple will anyway give these people an NFT because it doesn't cost him anything, of course. They will have something for the money they paid. But that hasn't happened yet. So impersonating somebody that creates NFTs is a new scam. It's not the only new scam with NFTs, because here you see a different NFT scam. There are many digital artists who haven't made an NFT yet of their art. So what do people do is they look at the art and check if there's already an NFT made out of it. They make an NFT out of it themselves, register it as if they were the artist, and sell it. So when the artist, the original artist that really created that piece of art, goes and looks on the internet and looks on the exchange, he sees his art being sold by somebody else. That is a new scam. All right, so you have to look out for everything. So when you buy an NFT, then you first have to check if that is really from the original artist. And believe me, people will do all the tricks in the book, right? They will use the artist name with one character misspelled, and so you won't see at first glance. But there are lots of new things being done, lots of new people being creative to get your money out of your pocket into their money pocket. Okay, so watch out. The next topic, yes, we're gearing up for our hackathon, the blockchain hackathon, the Blingathon, the day after tomorrow. You've seen publications about this in earlier meetups, so I thought I'd give you an update. The day after tomorrow, at 9 o'clock in the morning, our hackathon will start with 140 participants in 32 teams, students, entrepreneurs, and all kinds of people from a lot of different countries, a lot of Belgium, a lot of Dutch people, some from Germany, UK, USA, Sweden, but also from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, India. Lots of people are participating in this blockchain hackathon, and we have 4 tracks. First track is on energy. It has to do with microgrids and trading energy between neighbors. And the second one is about transport, about containers and truckers and shippers and a harbor, etc. The third track is about e-voting. Well, everybody can imagine what that is. You have to create a way that people can vote with their smartphone, but it has to be absolutely secure, that no, let's say, foreign nationality can mess with the outcome of an election, like probably at a few elections in the past has happened. For instance, ballot stuffing, where you put in a lot of extra ballots with your favorite person to win the election, is not possible because it's electronic, but it's much easier because you can manipulate the database or the blockchain if it's not very well done, and manipulate the outcome of the election. And the last track is about delivery, secure delivery, and verifiable delivery of documents and messages. All right. For instance, if you look in the judicial system here in Holland, they work with paper documents, and when they want to send it, they don't send it by email or by internet, they send it by fax machine. Right. So lawyers and judges are the biggest users of fax machines in Holland. The rest already scrapped them. But since they think it's not secure, our fourth track, the teams working in that fourth track are going to try to find a solution for that. You can see all that is going on in that hackathon on YouTube. Like this meetup, we are streaming it for around 36 hours. I'll probably be on for about 30 hours. I'm sorry, you'll have to look at my face. But we'll start on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Here you see the timetables. We'll do a pre-start show and talk about the rules and introduce the coaches, etc. And then at 10 o'clock the hackathon will be started by the Vice Mayor of Groningen. And you see there are all kinds of workshops going on. Because it's public, you can also look at it. You don't have to attend the blockchain hackathon. If you want to see, for instance, the ideation workshop by Friso Visser, he's a crack in the field. He does ideation workshops for Disney, for Greenpeace, and all kinds of large companies. I'm very glad he's coming to us to help us in the ideation department. So if you want to look at that, just go to our Blingathon YouTube channel and you can watch it. You can see what's going on. Now the hackathon will start at 9 o'clock in the morning and then we'll go on. And most of the students will go on all night. But I'll probably get a 3-4 hours sleep. And the next morning we will be back at 9 o'clock. And then we'll go on till 9 o'clock in the evening. But our finals will start at 6 o'clock in the evening. That's the most exciting part, right? From the 32 teams, only 12 will go to the finals. And the jury will look at them and only 3 will win a prize. 4 will win a prize. Best overall, best design, most impact, and the audience prize. You as a viewer can vote for one of the teams and they will get the audience prize. So be sure to check in on the channel and see what you can learn. Okay, that was the last slide of my presentation. Let's see if there are any questions in the chat. I see somebody says fax. Yeah, it's really old school how the judicial system is sending its documents by courier, right? So person to person delivery or by fax, but not electronically, because there are a lot of bad people roaming the internet and trying to hack, change or manipulate all kinds of documents. So it's a big problem. But I think we can solve it. And in track 4, probably 8 teams are going to work on it. And I'm very, very curious what will come out of it. I know some people are a little bit skeptic. What can you do in 30 hours? I'm going to tell you a lot. I've been to many hackathons. I've organized quite a few myself. And I'm still, at the end, I'm always flabbergasted about what you can do in 30 hours. Under pressure, if you separate the main topic from the subtopics and you concentrate, you focus on that with your team of 3, 4, 5 people, you can move a mountain. So be sure to check in and maybe you'll see what they found. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I see Cor, Michiel and Eriksson. I think we are going to go to the next topic where Jeroen is going to explain all things about the NFTs. And after that we'll have time for some other questions.
Hi there and welcome. This talk is about NFTs. My name is Jeroen Wester. I'm with the BlockchainLab Drenthe. And today the topic is non-fungible tokens, NFTs. We're going to talk about them. What are they? Why are they so very popular at the moment? And how are you going to create them? And do a little bit of a demonstration. I think Danny will do that. There's a spoiler alert. One of the reasons that they are so popular is that people make a lot of money out of them. A few people make a lot of money out of them, and I will explain that to you. Here's one of these people. Meet Jack Dorsey. He is one of the founders of Twitter. And Twitter is, well, in internet terms, an old kid on the block, because it started somewhere in 2006. And on March 21st, this Jack Dorsey, he posted the first tweet on Twitter with the very Informative text, just setting up my Twitter, March 21, 2006. 15 years later, this Jack Dorsey created a non-fungible token of this first ever tweet. And a few days later, there was an auction. People could buy this non-fungible token of the first tweet. And someone did. And that someone paid $2.9 million for this non-fungible token of the first tweet. Impressive amount of money. But it gets even crazier when you meet the second person, Michael Winkleman, also known as Beeple, creator of art. You see a picture of that art that he created every day. He created that piece of art somewhere in June 2016. And in March 21, he created a non-fungible token of this work of art. And in the same month, that non-fungible token at an auction raised almost $70 million. Well, these amount of money for just a single token, well, it was to a large audience very inspirational, so to say. If people can raise that amount of money, they all want to do the same, of course. Okay, now let's talk about what is a non-fungible token. Here's a definition. A non-fungible token is a digital asset that represents a real world object, like art, music, or in-game items or videos. Here you see a photograph of the NBA. They have a very interesting non-fungible token project called Top Shot, where you can collect moments that happened in the NBA leagues. But this definition that you have a digital asset that represents something in the real world is a little bit too strict. That is what NFTs are currently used for. The application is even wider. You can use them for anything that has a unique aspect. Okay, let's talk about it. Non-fungible token. The word fungible, what does that mean? It's not clear to everybody instantly, but fungible stands for interchangeable. So a non-fungible token is something that is not interchangeable. Okay, let's dive into that. First of all, what is a token? In the crypto world, everybody talks about tokens. And not everybody is very clear and strict on that. So there's a bit of a debate on what it exactly is. But let's start with noting that a token is basically a crypto asset. So if you own Ethers, for instance, you own Ether tokens. You could say that. But usually when people talk about tokens, they talk about crypto assets that run on top of a blockchain token, on top of a blockchain. So, for instance, on top of Ethereum. So you have, for instance, the stablecoin DAI, which is an example of a popular Ethereum token. It runs on top of the Ethereum network. So you have the basic things like Ethereum, where Ether is the currency that is paid, and on top of that there is another token, in this example DAI, and you can also exchange that, but it uses the basic Ethereum technology. Okay, that's about tokens. Now let's dive into the fungible and non-fungible things. Well, fungible, as I explained before, it is interchangeable, non-unique. So when I exchange my ether and I transfer it to you, that ether is as good as an ether that I receive, a different ether that I receive from you. And well, there is no difference between them. So I don't care which ether I own, as long as I own an ether. With fungible things, that's different. A fungible thing is unique. So when you look at the picture here, the Starry Night picture of Vincent van Gogh, you could say, okay, it cares to me if I own this painting, and I will not likely change this painting for just any other painting, because this painting is, I find it very attractive or is very valuable. So paintings are not interchangeable objects. You will not pay your coffee by paintings, because not every painting is equal. While things like corn, you don't really care which corn you own, as long as it is healthy, tasty, or something like that. But then corn is just like any other corn. Okay, this is about fungible and non-fungible things. So remember, fungible, interchangeable, non-fungible, not interchangeable, unique. Let's dive a little bit into token standards, because you might come across these words like ERC20 or ERC721. What are these, and what do they have to do with fungible and non-fungible tokens? Based on a network like Ethereum, there are many different tokens. There's a long list. Just look that up on the internet and you can see there's a long list based on the Ethereum. And token standards, many of these tokens are ERC20 tokens. These token standards, they help you to easily create a new token. Because what we do when you create a new token, you write a smart contract that implements the standards that are written down in the ERC20 standard. Now, the ERC20 standard stands for fungible tokens, and there's an example of non-fungible token standards. That's the ERC721 standard. We will not go into detail. That would be, but that's something for specialists. Okay. Now you know a little bit about token standards and where these words come from. Let's talk about NFTs and ownership. In the examples that I gave before, you could say, okay, there is this person that at an auction bought the NFT that is connected to the first tweet ever. Does this person now own that first tweet? And in the second example, there is this painting or this work of art that is bought, and does this person now own this work of art because this person owns the NFT that's connected to this work of art? Well, the sad answer is no, you don't own that. The work of art, the copyright of the work of art, still belongs to the artist. The artist created an NFT, of which the artists say, okay, this NFT stands for this work of art, but you do not own the painting. The only thing that you own when you own an NFT that is connected to a work of art is that you have this token, this crypto asset. And you probably have the keys to that token. And with these keys, you can do whatever you want with this token. You can transfer to some other address so that somebody else owns it. But it's just that token that you own. The artist keeps the copyright. The artist can decide what to do with a work of art that's connected to this NFT. For instance, the artist can decide, okay, I created one NFT of this work of art, but now I create multiple NFTs of this work of art, and I'm going to sell these too. So the uniqueness of your first NFT could be diminished by that. But owning the token also opens possibilities to you because you can sell that token. And if your token is considered very valuable by others, you can raise money by that. Maybe you can get very rich, probably not. Okay, why are these NFTs now so very popular at the moment? Well, here you see three possible roles connected to NFTs. First of all, on the left-hand side, there is the NFT owner. And I think that many NFT owners are into this game of NFTs because they want to speculate and they think they can get rich by owning, buying, or selling these NFTs. In the middle, there is the artists. And NFTs could be an interesting solution for these artists because it enables them to cross borders between the real and the digital world. That's interesting because a lot of things happen, of course, in the digital world, but when you create a painting, that's still in the physical world. And how can you connect to the digital world? Why? Well, actually, this NFT is a kind of connection to this digital world. You say, okay, I have this painting, this NFT token is connected to this painting, and now I try to sell and make money out of that. And the third popularity of NFTs is that when you are on the development side of things, software developers are interested in these NFTs because it can solve for them it can enable them to create new applications especially for things that are unique. Think of unique contracts or unique ownership that you want to be part of your application. Okay, suppose you own or you want to own an NFT. What do you do then? Well, probably the most simple thing is just go to an NFT marketplace. Here you see two examples, OpenSea and Rarible, and try to buy or sell these NFTs. Interesting. Completely new world. Okay, let's dive into a number of examples here. This is the last slide. Here you see three examples of popular NFTs. First of all, what would the internet be without kitties? So there is a blockchain game, CryptoKitties, which is created around the idea of NFTs. And the idea of this game is that your kitty is represented by your unique NFT, and you need to raise that kitty and take care of that kitty. And you can earn probably something like experience points or health points when your kitty does well. The second example is Top Shot of the NBA basketball. And Top Shot is an interesting place. It's actually a kind of marketplace where users can buy, sell, or collect important moments in the NBA. So, for instance, a perfectly well done slam dunk, you can have that that moment, and that moment is then owned by you in the form of an NFT. Interesting, very interesting. You can compare that to collecting cards that you had earlier before, photographs of important players. Now you can really own important moments. And the last example, that's Messi, of course, and it's the Messiverse. And the Messiverse is a series of crypto artworks that you can buy, that you can own. And there's an interesting tagline in this Messiverse: the legend himself forever sculpted on the blockchain. Interesting, check that out. Well, okay, this was it. I hope you now know a little bit more about NFTs, and thank you.
Okay, a little bit wiser. Are there any questions about NFTs? Let me check. Somebody says, how was it used to be named Tamagotchi? Tamagotchi, but that a Tamagotchi was alive, right? Alive. It was moving, it was reacting on what you're doing, and an NFT isn't. An NFT is a static piece of art, which is unique. The Tamagotchis, I think, were also unique because they, because of the interaction, you change their behavior a little bit. But yeah, this NFT stuff is much, much broader. And you see people collecting NFTs like you had this wave of people collecting domain names, right? So there are people who are snatching. First category is people that think about new domain names themselves. People who are designing their own NFTs. Then there are people who are looking at other domain names and changing only one syllable. And that's with NFTs also. You take an NFT, for instance, let me try to get something on the screen, like this. No, not like that. Yeah, like this. You see, these are all nearly the same, but a little bit different. Only the color of the skin different or whatever. They are variations, so they're not totally unique. They are a bit rare, but there is some similarity in it. So the more unique an NFT is, the better for the price. So there are a lot of people doing that. Most of the people are just speculating. I mean, buying and selling. So they are collecting a lot of NFTs for the price of a few cents. And they are looking into the future and hoping to sell one or two of them for a big price. And then taking all the loss on all the cheap ones and hoping to have a good life. Let me see if there are other questions. Dario said, well, I finally understood NFT. Yeah, that's what is the case, right? People are hearing the term NFTs, but it's rather complicated to explain to people what NFTs are, right? It's I always use the comparison with stamps. I know my father used to collect stamps, and they were nearly worthless. But let's say you have a very rare stamp. It's so rare, there's only one of them in the world. What is the value of that one stamp that nobody has, everybody wants? And it's so valuable that you don't keep it in your own home. You lend it to a museum. So everybody can look at it, and there are pictures of it on the internet, right? So it's not really unique. It's not a little secret in a box that only you can look at. No, everybody can look at it. But you are the only owner. That stamp is yours. If anybody would take it and destroy it, they would go to jail. You're the only one that doesn't go to jail when you do that, right? So that's a little bit like an NFT. So there is something unique of which there is only one in the world. And what is the value of that? Well, the value of that is how much somebody else wants to pay for it to have it. Like the Visa, the Cyberpunk NFT, they bought for 150,000 and now it's worth 500,000 because there are people who would like to have it. They would like to own the NFT that Visa bought. That's the value. Okay. Let's go to the next segment where Danny will give a demonstration.
Hello, my name is Danny Drenthe. I'm part of the BlockchainLab Drenthe and I'm a tech enthusiast, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about NFTs. In this presentation, I'm going to give you an example of the usage of NFTs. I made this presentation to gain some knowledge, and I'm going to tell you about what's an NFT platform, which platforms are there, and I'm going to do a little demo with the platform called Bakery Swap on the Binance Smart Chain. So what's the platform all about? Well, it's not only about Bitcoin and other blockchain cryptocurrencies, it's also about complex financial applications called DeFi. So with the DeFi, there are a lot of applications that are going to be present in these days. It's not new. For instance, crowdfunding, it's exactly the same. When you want to create such a DeFi application, you have to have some liquidity. An NFT marketplace is also a DeFi application. On the NFT marketplace, you can exchange tokens and NFTs. So when you want to create such a market, for instance an NFT market, you have to have some liquidity. That means you have to create demand, you have to have some funding, and you must create supply. And this is exactly what today DeFi platforms achieve. One other aspect is the market making in a DeFi platform. There has to be some automated way to get seller and buyers together, and one aspect is the creation of the price. So for this a lot of algorithms are created, and one of them is the AMM, Automated Market Maker. So the DeFi platform is a piece of technology that makes it possible to create markets. The AMM is the market mechanism, and the NFT marketplace is the DeFi application where you can create and trade NFTs. There are a lot of platforms available. When you use the site DeppRadar and you select the NFT, you can see there are at least 1583 NFTs charted, and the top 5 are really big ones already. So we already know that transaction on the blockchain like Bitcoin can take up a lot of time. Therefore the company Binance, they decided to create their own blockchain called the Binance Smart Chain. In there it's very cheap and very fast to do blockchain transactions. And on that Binance Smart Chain, at the end of 2020, the AMM named Bakery Swap was launched. Bakery Swap is a DeFi application where you can do market making for cryptocurrencies, but you can also use other DeFi features like staking and voting, but also NFT creating and market making. And there are some more features that are going to come up in the following time. It's very easy to create your own NFT. If you create it on the testnet, it's free. If you want to create it on the Binance mainnet, it costs you a little bit of money. Let's say $2 or $3. So I will show you a little demo about that. Oh, let me click it in place. There you have it. This is the site of the Bakery Swap. And this is the so-called DeFi application on the Binance Smart Chain. We use MetaMask to do the communication with the Binance mainnet, and MetaMask is our wallet, and it takes care of all the coins we have, and it takes care of the actual transaction that we're going to do, because creating a token is a transaction. And so this is my the creation of my new token. I will call it Nice Cat number 4. I have a couple of nice cats already. So this is my 4th token. I will set some royalties. That means that every time this token is sold, I will get 10% of that. That's very nice, easy money. So when I say mint, which is the blockchain term for creating your token, MetaMask jumps in, and MetaMask offers me the data and the transaction details. And since I have enough BNB, I can confirm it. It takes a bit of time before the actual confirmations are there, because as in most blockchains, some mining and some checking has to be done. So at this point the creation of my NFT is still pending, but the experience learns me that it will not take that long. There it is, and you can see it on the smart chain if you want. And here's the actual blockchain transaction of the creation of my NFT, which is basically a smart contract. So what does that look like? When I look at my created NFTs, there you have it, my nice cat. And this is actually Nice Cat number 2, I think. I created that previously, and I can decide, well, I'm going to sell this NFT. I will set my price. I will set it to 1 bake. Bake is the currency of the bakery swap, and it's about $2. Once again, MetaMask jumps in to create the transaction for selling my NFT. And once that is done, it takes again a bit of time. And now it should be available. So when I take a look again, I refresh the page, then I can see my cat is on sale. Nice cat number 2 is on sale, so it's ready to be bought by people. And if you would explore, you can see my cat is there. So now you can buy my NFT, which is based on my cat. So thank you very much. You can see it's very easy to create your own NFTs, and if you make nice ones, maybe you can make some money. I already see some of my cats are being bought by people, so that's very good. Alright, thank you very much, bye bye.
So that's how Danny's cat got sold. Luckily the dear cat is still at home. Danny still has the rights to the pictures, but somebody else is owning the rights to one of the pictures of Danny's cat. Are there any questions about NFTs? I don't see any one of them. No. I hope that the question about how to digitize a painting or a picture, or well, not the cat itself, but is answered. It's like creating a hash, and the hash is the ownership. If you buy your NFT cat, do I also get the real VAT? The real cat, I believe. I don't think so. I think it will be hard to get Danny to part with his cat. Okay, he has a few of them, so what would one more or less? No, absolutely not. You will not get the cat. I'm sorry. You will only get the rights to that picture, the ownership of that picture of the cat, the NFT. But the picture itself, the portrait rights and the picture itself are still Danny's. Okay, well, if there are not other questions, I will go and close this session. The only thing I have left to do is thank Danny and Jeroen for their stories, their knowledge they shared with us. And I will go and tell you that the next meetup is on the 9th of December. And I will show you the link to our Kumo space in the title that'll be after this. So you can join us there in a few moments. This is the first time that we end our meetup on time. This is, I mean, NFT worthy. You could own this moment of the first meetup that we ended in an hour. So this is very unique. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you know where to find it. Find us. You can see on our website, bcld.nl. You can find our contact information and try to contact us if you want any other information. Maybe I'll see you at the hackathon, and otherwise I'll hope to see you next time on the 9th of December. Thank you very much.